so much for that. It's amazing. Quick announcement. Press first of all, is that move closer, please? And then could you like have an aisle so that we're not cut off from all our people? We're sorry that the press blocked a little bit, but you guys can move forward with the banner. We want to be able to see all your beautiful faces. While y'all are moving, we're going to welcome our next speaker, who is one of the coolest people I know personally. Give it up for DJ, who is with Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for the World.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up for Floyd, but also thank you for showing up for healing, right? We're here in the name of healing. And we also are here for the people, okay? Can y'all say that with me? For the people! For the people! For the people! Woo! I don't know about y'all. I'm nervous. I'm stressed the fuck out. I got an hour of sleep last night. Black people, BIPOC people, we can feel this in our body. That's what happens, stress. I'm stressed the fuck out. You don't think I got stuff to do? I got shit to do. I play chess. I play Tetris. I go to Super Smash Brothers competition. I'm ranked in the state. I got shit I can be doing. But you know, right now, I'm out here fighting for justice. And you know why? Because it is a duty to fight for my people. Say that with me. It is a duty to fight for my people. It is my duty to fight for my people. It's not just our duty to fight, it's also our duty to win. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to stay out here. We're going to stay on the streets. We got to keep our boots on the ground. We started protests during the uprising last May, and they haven't stopped since. Have they stopped covering it, the press? Hell yeah! Have we been there the whole time? Hell yeah! So, and I'm so glad that we're out here. I get to see everyone's lovely face. We ain't in that cage over there. I'm not sure, what do they call it? The First Amendment zone, the Freedom Zone. I'm calling it a cage. Okay? And I ain't going nowhere near that cage. I'm glad to be out here with you. So, I think the part that's messed up here, right, is look what they did to our beautiful downtown. It's a fucking shame, right? They turned this into a war zone. We got barricades, we got concrete, we got barbed wire. Let me tell you, barbed wire's real. I touched it. I don't know, for some reason I thought it was fake. I touched it, I said that's real. Warning y'all, don't touch it, alright? Learn from my mistake. And it just becomes hard, right? As BIPOC people, as a community of African Americans who are still trying to heal from this process, to have our kids see all of this, right? And them go, Mommy, Daddy, why is there so much fencing? Why is there barbed wire? What is this? How do we explain that? How do we explain that someone sat on someone's neck for 8 minutes and 46 fucking seconds, and the community is out here trying to do a healing process? The community is out here trying to get justice. And they feel the need to defend themselves from us. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. All we got is $1,400 to cover the last 6, 7, 8 months that we haven't had any work in unemployment. And they're spending $35 million to protect themselves. To turn this into a war zone. To try to intimidate and try to do fear. This is what the fucking problem. The system isn't built to de-escalate. The system is built to keep escalating. This fencing is escalation. This cage is escalation. And there's no healing process that can start while it's still open. Thank you. So the killing is continuous since they lynched George Floyd. And we got to make sure that we continue to fight for him. But we also need to remember to celebrate the lives of everyone that was lynched. That's the Breonna Taylors that happened before George Floyd. That's the Elijah McCains that were lynched before George Floyd. And let's remember, we didn't have any protests, we didn't have any riots, we didn't have anything burned down. We just didn't even know what happened. Because the media don't make sure that we bring attention. And we need to bring attention to not just, we need to bring attention to everyone, right? The whole BIPOC diaspora, right? We can't just focus on the cis, able-bodied, straight male, right? We need to make sure that we're focusing on our non-binary, okay? We need to make sure that we're focusing on our queers and our disabled. We need to make sure that we're focusing on everyone and that nobody gets left behind. So, that brings us to today, right? So we are here in the city where Floyd was actually lynched in broad daylight, right? We see watered down half measures in other states, right? Here, there, but here, where it happened, all we get is watered down half measures. They have done nothing to correct the wrong. And people have still died under their watch as they refuse to do anything. I'm talking about people like Eve who was shot on New Year's Eve.
That's right.
Nothing is changed. And the blood is on their hands. Yes. We need actual change. We want justice here, right? In this case, it's Chauvin. But we need to make sure we get systemic justice, right? To make sure that this doesn't happen again. Eve, Floyd, Jamar Clark, that could have been me. That could have been my dad. That could have been my mom. That could have been any of my kids that I teach chess to on the north side as a youth worker. That could be anybody. And that's why we're out here. We're out here to get justice for them, but we're also out here to protect our loved ones that are still here with us. So, the city council, all they've done is they've introduced this city charter. And let me tell y'all, it ain't enough. We need more. And that's why TCC for Change have come up with our own city charter. And you can go and read what it's about on our website. Because what is important is to make sure that we get CPAC, not to change the names of the police force. What we want is accountability. Because what are we doing right now? We out here holding them accountable, right? We out here making sure justice happens, right? That's what we need. And that's what CPAC is going to do. CPAC is going to make sure that there is a civilian of elected officials board that is able to actually convict these killer cops. To make sure that they actually are able to disarm them if their community wants that. Make sure they have cameras if the community wants that. Make sure that they're defunded if they want that. Make sure that they're abolished if they want that. This isn't about us pushing the agenda. This is about us giving the power to the people. So now, here we are, and let me tell you, I'm so uncomfortable by the fact that they keep saying that this is going to be the trial of the century. So that makes me start thinking it's two decisions, right? Seems pretty open and shut to me. Everybody saw the video. I don't know what this talk of trial of the century is. All y'all got to do is do the right thing. And when you put barbed wire, fencing, and concrete, it don't look like y'all about to do the right thing. Well, y'all got the sheriff and the National Guard headquarters making it look like a fortress. It don't look like you're going to do the right thing. They're preparing not to do the right thing. And we're here to make sure that they do the right thing. Because this just ain't for us. It's just ain't for our community. The whole world is watching, okay? I want y'all to say that. The whole world is watching. 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 Now this is going to be directed at them up there who want to turn this into a war zone. The community is watching! The community is watching! The community is watching! The community is watching! And now, this last one is for us. I'm going to say we are, and you're going to say watching. We are watching! 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 Power to the people!
As you heard, my name is Isaiah Berkwan. I'm a spoken word artist. I came from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to be with you guys today. And the poem I'm about to do is a poem I wrote, unfortunately, a couple years ago, and it is still relevant to this day. And yeah, that's all the disclaimers I'll do.
Ladder!
They want me to write about justice, but she never thought of me.
What?
Dear Emmett, they spat on the ground you tilled. Justice would much rather cut off all ears than hear your screams as your blood spilled. They beat you to death like whack-a-mole. That barbed wire around your throat like a rodeo took out your eyes and tongue like operation. Then, after being acquitted, admitted into the nation, protected by double jeopardy, it was always a game to them. One justice never participated in, she just sat back and watched like an artist eyeing a masterpiece on his easel. But being an artist, she never wanted to leave the mouths of the people. You see, we cherish the chant, long live the queen, but you were always royalty, dear Rodney. You were always royalty, and I know justice is blind, but it was easy for the people to see. So they took to the streets after seeing you bleed. And when all 4 officers were acquitted initially, I wonder if it felt like water was beneath their feet. Or Peter was just out of arm's reach when they were retried. Did they feel that blessing leave? Skip the raft and the flaming arrows. At least you got half buried with kings. While your queen, she was off somewhere attempting to pair justice and religion, but she's a godless beast that never comes when she's called. There's no church in the wild. Dear Darius, I miss seeing you in church all the time, laughing and smiling as only children can play. Did you feel the weight of their knees on the ground above you as they prayed? Did you hear their screams as they said your name? More people prayed to you than Jesus that day, my God. And don't tell me he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, because time and place never paid for sin. I said time and place never paid for sin. This seems to be the period in our life where justice is always a part of our life sentences. We were trained to chant this sentence: no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. But it's just us trying to get a piece of peace, and it's justice trying to get a piece of me. I'm not exactly hiding. You know where to find me. In justice, I wrote this just for you. Thank you.
Chauvin from BLM to the mic.
If George Floyd don't get it, 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 if Brianna don't get it, if Brianna don't get it, if Brianna don't get it. So I've been reading this article about justice, and it says, Lady Justice is a well-known symbol for our justice system. She proudly holds scales which represent the weighing of the evidence. Well, when we weigh the evidence in the Derek Chauvin murder trial, it's a pretty open and shut case, right? It also says at the bottom of Lady Justice's foot is a snake, and the snake represents evil. What Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd was evil. What Tutal did to George Floyd was evil. What happened to Jamar Clark was evil. What happened to Eric Garner was evil. What happened to Phil Quinn was evil. What happened to Cordell Handy was evil. What happened to Sandra Bland was evil. What happened to Breonna Taylor was evil. What happened to Hardell Sherrill was evil. Right? No doubt. It also says the sword represents punishment. We know that Derek Chauvin deserves to be punishment with the full force of the law. Right? No doubt. Then it says the blindfold that Lady Justice is wearing is supposed to mean that in our courts, that the criminal justice system is supposed to be blind to your gender, to your race, and to your wealth. But we know in the case of Breonna Taylor, justice wasn't blind. In the case of Jamar Clark, justice wasn't blind. In the case of Eric Garner, justice wasn't blind, right? So we're here today. Also, she's holding a book. In the book represents the Constitution. The American descendants of slavery, or black people, in the Constitution were considered 3/5 of a human being. So it's been hard for us to get justice in America's courts. So we're here to demand reparations today. So the Derek Chauvin trial
Derek Chauvin murder trial is the beginning of transformation in American courts, where the descendants of slavery start receiving justice in America today. Also part of our reparations claim is cessation, which means stop killing us. That's why we say stop killing us. That means that's cessation, which means stop harming us, or harm reduction, but we want harm elimination, no doubt. So we hope that Lady Justice keeps her blindfolds on and weighs the evidence so that we can get justice for George Floyd. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Say his name. George Floyd. 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 Thank you. Peace.
All right, so we're going to keep it moving because we want to get to the streets, right? I need you to say we want to get to the streets. All right, I'm going to introduce the next speaker. This woman right here, boy. Come on up here. When you talk about boots on the ground, when you talk about loving families and protecting them from the police, you think of Tashira Galway Ellen. Tashira has been out here long before she even knew about all of us and was trying to get justice for her husband. And I'm here to introduce Tashira, and y'all give it up for her.
I want to thank you all for being here today. And when you give it up to Shira, you're giving it up for all of the families. Because that's what it's about. This is about George Floyd, but this is about all of the people that they have slain in these streets for no just cause. All of the people that have shed blood for no true, real reason and purpose. This is for all stolen lives. All stolen lives. George Floyd is the face of hundreds in the state of Minnesota in the last 20 years. 470 murders at the hands of law enforcement, and only one officer held accountable, the minority man that killed the white woman. We know what it is. It's time to call it out for what it is. There's no time for sugarcoating. I call these police departments the Ku Klux Klan with badges on. It is what it is. They threw my son's father, Justin Tigan, in a garbage can. Beat him to death. Beat him to death. These are hate crimes that are committed against other human beings. So no matter what your uniform that you wear, when you commit the hate crime, it's still a hate crime. They sat outside my house. They followed me. When Justin was killed, there was no Black Lives Matter. There was no movement because it was swept under the rug. And that's how it's been for the rest of our families. For Hardell Sherrill, Kobe Heisler, Cordell Handy, Marcus Golden, Jeffrey Smith, Jamar Clark, Travis Jordan, Justin Tigan, and any other families that I forgot. charge it to my head and not my heart, but I stand here in representation of all of our families. Of all of our families, so support our families. Stand by our families, because during this time we are hurting. We are re-traumatized. We have to look at a trial that we only wish and pray that our families could get, that our loved ones could receive that same day in trial. George Floyd hasn't even got justice yet, but to even get a trial, most of our families didn't even receive that. And we have to watch this and know that our loved ones never got that day. We have to hear George Floyd's name screamed all over the world when we know that our loved ones died in garbages. When we know that Hardell Sherrill laid on a floor for days and they wouldn't give him the adequate medical care that he needed. But one thing that we will not do during this time, our families will not be quiet. We will be as visible as possible. And we will be out here screaming our loved one's name. And we ask that you scream our loved one's names too. Because George Floyd, the only difference between George Floyd and the rest of our families is that they got to the videos with our families. They were able to edit the videos. They were able to destroy the evidence. It spread too fast with George Floyd. It went Facebook Live and they couldn't catch it. If they could have caught that video in time to stop it, they would have stopped it. But see, God wouldn't let them stop it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And they silenced me for years. Well, guess what? Guess what? I'm done being quiet. When you're killing human beings in the middle of the street for no reason, in broad daylight, I'm done being quiet. This is about human life. This ain't no paparazzi scene. I don't want to be out here doing this. I would much rather be at home with my son, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I was scared for years that they would hurt me for coming forward with my story. Well, I put it like this. They gonna have to do what they gotta do, because I'm gonna do what I gotta do.